It is your February mortgage and housing update. Okay, I'm gonna call it right now. Spring market is early. I think we're gonna have a really strong spring market. I say this because at the end of January, I started seeing calls, applications, clients in contract jump. And it was at a level that I would generally expect in mid-March, April, if I was in a good spring market. The spring market has been something that has eluded the housing market. Like, I don't really felt like we had one in 23. I don't really feel like we had one in 24. So it's exciting to see that we're gonna have one in 25. And I do think you'll start seeing the press talking about it in a couple weeks. You know, being in the mud, right? Like, that's what I call it. I'm in the mortgage life every single day. I'm licensed in 48 states. You know, I'm seeing what's happening at the ground level. We are seeing so much interest and activity, and it's for the simple reason. For years, we've all been talking about pent up buyer demand, you know, and everyone thought, well, if rates hit 5%, we're gonna see people come out of the woodwork. If housing prices go down, you're gonna see people come out of the woodwork. So have housing prices gone down? Nationally, no. Nope. Have mortgage rates gone down? No. No. I mean, look, right now, they're lower than they were in December. Like, they're pretty good right now, historically. You know, not historically compared to 22 or 21, but, you know, historically, like, you know, they're better than the 80s. People are sick of waiting. They're just sick of waiting. It's that simple. You know, I've talked to a lot of clients recently, and they're like, you know, Jen, I've been watching this channel for 2 or 3 years, and I've just been waiting. But all I've seen is prices go up and home ownership is becoming more and more out of reach, and I'm scared to keep on waiting. And I don't disagree with that sentiment for the simple reason that there's nothing on the horizon right now that is going to lead to a big housing drop nationwide, okay? And I say nationwide because there's always weird stuff in microclimates, right? It's like Washington, D.C.'s in the news right now because their listings have doubled, you know, overnight because a lot of people are attributing it to what's going on with Doge. Is that representation of the entire country? No. And it's like when you actually dig into the fine print of even that story, the bulk of the new listings are over $1 million. So is that really making home ownership more affordable for Americans? No, it's over $1 million, right? It's like, no. So there's nothing on the horizon that's gonna drop prices, okay? And people go, well, wait a second, you know, the Trump administration has talked about easing off building restrictions. So there's gonna be a lot of new building. Guys, there's gonna be new building where there already is new building. You know, there's not gonna be new building in New York City. There's not gonna be more building in Miami Beach, right? It's not like suddenly houses are gonna cost $200,000. Also, the materials to build a house are so expensive still. You know, inflation did its number. I did a video recently on home renovations, and I didn't dig into it too much, but it's like, look, with the tariffs in China, steel and aluminum, there's a lot of concern right now within the building arena. You know, I was talking to my contractor about it, about how that's going to impact prices. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, you know, and, you know, tariffs on China to begin with, you may go, okay, well, I'll just use American products. I was looking at that recently. I was like, okay, we'll talk about window companies that are based in America, made in America windows. I dug down the rabbit hole, and the aluminum for the frames is from China. You know, this part's from China. So the impact that will have on building will be interesting to see, and how far it goes. Okay, I say that because I think that, you know, we saw the potential tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and those went away very quickly. They're still on the back burner. And if we saw, you know, a tariff on Canada, like, that's definitely going to affect lumber and cabinets. And there's a lot of building materials that come out of there. So that's why I don't think that we're suddenly going to see a bunch of $200,000 houses. Even without tariffs, the cost of the supplies to build a house, they've been going up dramatically for years. Like, it's hard to buy a bathroom faucet for this sink for under a couple $100 now, right? all of this stuff, like a doorknob. Doorknobs are expensive now. You know, the little things so you don't put it through the wall, expensive. You know, you've got some builders who are experimenting. I saw this recently and it actually scared me. It was in Nevada and this builder's like, wood's too expensive, framing's too expensive, right? So they're building houses out of foam that solidifies. And I'm like, gosh, I feel like this is not going to be good for our health long term, right? So I don't feel like new build is going to save the day throughout the country. I do think you'll have pockets, like there's parts of Dallas, parts of Houston, parts of South Carolina, some of my favorite markets, where we're definitely seeing, you know, the seller pay for the buyer's closing costs. So I think there is opportunity out there, but I don't think there's a silver bullet coming for inventory across the country. Okay. And that's what we're talking about, across the country, you know. What else? Okay, so basically spring market's here. People are sick of waiting. We are already seeing some bidding wars. I was talking to one of my friends. He's one of the top lenders in Columbus, Ohio. We have a meeting every month, a couple top lenders. It's fun because we get to see what everyone's doing. He's already seen bidding wars, guys. Like it was the end of January and he's like, yeah, it's already happening. I'm already talking to my clients about appraisal gaps. So an appraisal gap is when you pay more than what the house is actually worth. So is that what we're going to see across the country? I don't think so. Like, I think if rates ever got to 5, we would. But where we are with rates right now, I think most of the country, you're not going to see that. But I do think there are going to be some markets where you do have such a demand for housing that you will see behavior like that. Okay? Really important. Now, here's the not so good news, and this is controversial. So the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is on hold right now. And it's been a real target of Doge. You know, there's the famous Elon Musk tweet of delete CFPB. Are they perfect? No. Did they do a lot of good? Yes. And one of the things that they did that I don't think people realize is they struck fear in the mortgage industry. And you may be like, fear's not good. Yes, it is. In the mortgage industry, fear is a little good. Here's why. Back in the day, let's say you have a big company, you would have a loan originator that was a dirtbag. Like they were known to be a dirtbag. This was when I came in the industry, like 2000, end of 2007. Total dirtbag. Everyone knows they rip off their clients, but the company keeps them because they make the company a lot of money. When Dodd-Frank and then, you know, the CFPB really enforcing this type of stuff came into play, companies, instead of being like, yeah, he's a dirtbag, now they became like, wait a second, he's a liability, okay? So you saw some of the naughty people in the industry get pushed away from where they'll have more access to consumers, you know, and that was a very good thing. The thing I'm worried about right now is like, I'm already seeing it on LinkedIn. Like seriously, go to my LinkedIn and look at the stuff I'm involved in. It's crazy. There's people rejoicing that the CFPB is on pause. It's the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. They're like, finally, I can get back to doing business. What? Like, wait, you couldn't do business with them in power? Like, I'll be honest, guys, did they catch everything? No, there's so much they did not catch that they should have. But like if someone's saying they couldn't operate under the CFPB and now they can get back to business, the back to business is ripping off consumers. So as a buyer, you know, be aware. My team and I are licensed in 48 states. Check out my Google reviews because I can say whatever I want, but my clients are going to speak the best as to what it's like working with us. Hit us up. 786-933-2077. We're here to help you. But if you're like, Jen, I like your videos, but I don't want to work with you, that hurts. It's mean. That's mean. Like, I want to work with you. Like, this feels like rejection, and I'm going to have to like tap it out or go to therapy. Anyways, just make sure you guys are being really careful because there's a lot of people that are celebrating the CFPB is not going to be watching as closely, and that is not a benefit to you, the consumer, okay? So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. Now, overall, we've already covered it. Rates are unlikely to go down. There's nothing in the forecast. You know, the CPI came in hotter than expected. Powell came out and the market determined that after he spoke that it's unlikely the Fed would do anything till the end of December. However, there are so many moving parts right now. You know, you've got Doge going through departments at a fast pace. You've got so much happening on a global level with the United States. I think we're in for a very unpredictable year, which is why I won't say that rates are going to go up or down, because honestly, truly, I don't know. If I look at what historically we've gone off of, I would expect them to stay in the range they are. However, with everything that's going on, toss a coin, okay? So top tip would be to get, if you're thinking of buying this year, get a fully underwritten pre-approval. You know, you want to make sure that you're fully qualified. You want to make sure you know your numbers. You want to make sure it works with your budget. But if you end up in a competitive situation, you want that letter because it's stronger. The beep-boo bop-boo, you know, instant mortgage, here's your approval. It's garbage. And any good listing agent and any good seller knows that, okay? Last thing, because people have asked me this, are we seeing less real estate agents renew their licenses? Not as much as you would think. Okay, that was a big question because there's been less houses selling in the last few years, so people thought the amount of real estate agents would decrease, not at the level you would expect. And the reason's simple. They only have to sell one house and it's like a lottery ticket, okay, in many places. And for the agents that are working incredibly hard every single day, selling $200,000, $300,000 houses, yes, they are working so hard. But a lot of times what we'll see is someone keeps a license, they're in an area where the houses sell for $1 million plus, and on $1 million house, they're making $30,000. So it's worth them to pay that license fee and the broker fees for the off chance of that happening. So you still need to be researching your realtors because there's still a lot out there that really don't know what they're doing. In terms of lenders, huge decreases. 2023, there were about 340,000 licensed loan officers. This year, they're estimating under 100,000. Yeah, it's simple. As a loan officer, you have to do a decent amount of business in order to stay in business. So it's been really tough on lenders for the last few years because of the lack of refinances. So I do feel like lenders, we're getting into a better spot where you're working with people that are at least doing a good amount of business. However, honestly, truly, do I still see people who are doing 4 deals a year? Yes. Is that a benefit to you? No. But with the CFPB, I am very concerned that we're going to see some of the bad actors from the past who got pushed out come back. So your mailbox is going to be filled with stuff that's going to sound amazing and probably won't be. You're going to need to pay attention to what's in writing. And if someone says, oh, ignore what's in writing, be afraid, it's going to be a very interesting year. So I hope this video was helpful. Questions, comments, as always, reach out. And if you need to get pre-approved or you want to see like, hey, does refinancing actually make sense? Because this lender's telling me it is, but I don't know. 786-933-2077 or hop on the calendar, talk to the team. We're here to help you. Thanks for watching.